Hello, my name is Grant Fritchey. I work for Redgate Software. Execution plans are a vital tool. They're a giant part of what we do when we're trying to understand what's going on inside of SQL Server, when we're trying to do query tuning, we're trying to understand, just generally how the query optimizer is resolving our t-sql or how the engine is, resolving everything. Execution plans are our view into the internals of what's going on. And so that we're going to be using them a lot. But there's a misnomer, there's a miscommunication going on with execution plans. We've got this idea that there's a thing called an estimated plan, an estimated plan, and then there's this thing called the actual plan, which is the real plan because it's actual. And the bad news here is that there really is no difference. These are both estimated plans. One is an estimated plan. One is an estimated plan plus runtime metrics. Now, yes, I want to get runtime metrics anytime I can. I love runtime metrics. Runtime metrics are the big thing that's going to drive us in a lot of the decision making we have. What kind of waits occurred? How long did this query take to run? What was the actual number of rows versus the estimated number of rows? These actual metrics really do matter. But the plans, and what we're looking at when we look at the plans, except for those actual metrics, all of that information that's in an estimated plan is in what we call an actual plan, because those actual plans are estimated. Let's take a look at how this works. Now, I have here a few queries. And what I'm going to do is just run through these and talk about a few things. First thing I did was I created a Columnstore Index on the production transaction history table. So what I'm going to do is take a look at this query right here, and we're going to look at the estimated plan. Now, the estimated plan for this query is going to bring up adaptive joins. Now, adaptive joins is the new join type in 2017. It's fantastic stuff. It allows us to, do a loop or a hash join depending on the number of rows involved. And we can take a look at the properties here and see how it does that work with, the adaptive threshold rows. And that's, above that value, we would get a hash join. Below that value, you get a loops join. And each of those paths is outlined here. The top path is always the hash path, and the lower path is always the loop path. And that's how that works. And so this estimated plan very quickly lays out how a query could be executed within this process. Now, let's actually capture the actual plan, quote unquote, and we will have to execute the query in order to retrieve this. And when we take a look at it, it's exactly the same plan, except for one thing. This also has runtime metrics. If we take a look at the properties here, we see that the actual number of rows is 504. Whereas if we take a look at the properties for the clustered index seek, we see the actual number of rows is 0. Now, this is one of my favorite new methods for showing that every plan is an estimated plan, because look at it. We did not follow that clustered index seek path. That did not execute. Yet, it's still part of the plan. Why? Because every plan is an estimated plan. Just we have these things called actual plans, which are an estimated plan plus runtime metrics. Now let's take a look at another query, just real quick. Let's go down here and let's execute this query. Bring back the execution plan. And, so now we see that, this execution plan, we see how it ran and all that fun stuff. What we're going to do is I'm going to save this execution plan as, video demo. Never type during video demos. And then we're going to reopen that. So now we have that plan open. We can take a look at it later when we get to the next part of the thing. So what I want to do is actually go in and retrieve what's in Query Store right now. Now, Query Store stores the plans that were used, right? So those, by any definition, those are, quote, actual plans, right? Because they were the plans used within the system. And so we get back the results here, and sure enough, there's that plan. Does it look the same as what we're looking at here? Yes, it looks identical. That is the exact same plan. Why? Because all plans are estimated plans. The key that we would look at is going to look at the properties and see that there are no actual values here. This is an estimated only plan, as opposed to this one where we actually have actual values, because this has the runtime metrics. But you'll notice that the estimates and on both plans are identical. There's no differences between the two. Now let's take a look at one other thing. If we go back over here and we run a query against the plans that are currently in the plan cache. Now the query plans stored in the plan cache are absolutely the plans that were used to execute the query. So if we retrieve that, again, take a look at the results and open up that plan. Again, we get that same plan coming back, but once more, if we take a look at the properties, there are no actual row counts, there are only estimates. Why? Because the plan stored in cache is the estimated plan. So what we have is that the plan stored in cache is an estimated plan, the plan stored in Query Store is an estimated plan, and only the plan that we did an execution of is, quote, an actual plan, but it too is an estimated plan just with additional runtime metrics. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we won't use actual plans. We will. Absolutely. Again, the runtime metrics are invaluable resources that we're going to take advantage of. However, understand what you're looking at. You're not looking at different plans when we look at an actual plan. You're looking at the exact same plan. You're just looking at a plan plus runtime metrics. Hopefully that's helpful. My name is Grant Fritchey. I work for Redgate Software.